Today we are going to talk about some other big changes coming at Princess, an outbreak on a cruise ship. I've got news for you if you are going to be on the long bus ride that is up in one of those Alaska cruise tours. Another port that is being taken off an itinerary with Princess. We're going to talk about Norwegian and some changes that Norwegian is making that I am thinking is maybe going to make them a little bit more in line with Princess Entertainment. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday, it's June 19th of 2023, and I want to start off here really quick by inviting you to come to our live tonight. We're going to do it, we've been historically doing it at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're trying to move it up by popular request, so we're going to try to start as close as we can to 8 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. So let me know if you have any questions that you would like us to go over. Just bring them with you. Bring anything, your fun cruise experiences, just anything you would like to share or questions you've got, and we'd love to talk about it. I've still got a lot on my mind that I want to talk to you about with the changes that Princess is making and some things that the longer you think about it, the more impact this is. And so it's just going to be interesting. So let's start off though, talking really super fast. The Viking Neptune cruise ship, that is one of their ocean ships, has had an outbreak. It's a gastrointestinal outbreak. So cruise lines are required to report it to the CDC when they've got 2% of the passengers have any gastrointestinal issues. Like the ones on the Viking Neptune are having abdominal cramps, vomiting, and diarrhea. And they're 12% of the passengers on board and 2% of the crew were having this problem. If I had to just guessing with those numbers, I am wondering if it's a little bit of food poisoning, but you never know. And so that ship is going to be arriving down in New Jersey tomorrow. And so we'll get more news, I'm sure. I'm hoping that, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone on that cruise ship, especially the ones who are sick. I hope you get feeling better soon. But I just wanted to let you know, and you know what, if it's food poisoning, that can happen really anywhere, as it can if it is norovirus or something like that. It can spread so quickly. So even if we have not heard of an outbreak in the longest time, make sure that you remember to wash your hands often. Now, we were just on Holland America's Eurodom, and they don't have hand washing stations by the buffet there. So I wanted to I know that some of you have asked me about that, and I keep forgetting to tell you. So they do not have them. At least I did not see them any on the Eurodom. I know on the Koningsdam that I was on last year, they do have hand washing stations there as you enter the buffet. And I don't think that I missed them. We went in and out of there several times, and I don't believe that there are any hand washing stations on the Eurodom. But I will tell you, they do serve you for the most part. There are tongs that you pick up things at some of the stations. Like I know the cheese was self-serve. Some of the bread and rolls are self-serve. Here and there are self-serve things, or you touch the case that they put all of their desserts in a case, and you lift it and then you take out what you want, so that you would be getting germs as well. But even when, no matter what ship I am on, we always wash our hands in the cabin before we go to eat. And then of course, if they've got a hand washing station, we do it again there. But just a friendly reminder to be really careful. So I hope, better things I hope are ahead for the Viking Neptune and the passengers there. Now, I mentioned there are more big changes at Princess. The other evening on our live Friday night, which you guys are the best. You should go watch that if you haven't watched it. That was a really, really good live. So much information, so much conversation about what's going on with Princess and other cruising things as well. But our Let's Go family member, Jeffrey, mentioned that it looked like Jan Schwartz has a new job with Princess. And Jan Schwartz, I think she's awesome. She was the president of Princess Cruises for a long time. And then in about the fall of 2021 is when John Paget was made the president of Princess, and Jan Schwartz became the president of the Holland America group, which included Princess and Holland America. Well, when Jeffrey said that, it made me, as soon as we were done, I went and looked it up. And so she has been taken out of her role as Princess of the Holland America group, and she has a new job. She's going to be the Executive Vice President of Strategic Operations for the whole Carnival Corp. So I am thinking this is hopefully a step up for her. I love that Jeffrey had posted on our Facebook group that he is wondering if in the long run she'll go to Celebrity. That I know a really good job for her at Celebrity, but and we'll talk about that in just a second because I think she's awesome. But anyway, so she's going to stay based in California there, but we'll be spending more time in their Miami office. So in the long run, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with all of this. And part of the restructuring that the CEO, his name is Josh Weinstein, he kind of restructured several things to take away some layers. He feels like he'll have a more direct line of reporting from different presidents of different cruise lines, things like that. But to me, what is really interesting is you do all that, and then you do what you're doing to change, really, quite frankly, the direction a little bit of Princess. This does not change my excitement for seeing those ships and hopefully wanting to cruise on them. But we've got all these other ships, and we can talk about that more tonight. But to me, it's a really big deal that we've got Jan Schwartz moving to that strategic planning position there with all of Carnival Corp. I hope we will see her handprint in a few more things because she did a really, really good job with Princess. And I would say that she was stellar. I think she is the one that truly did so much to make the Princess crew and everyone who worked with Princess feel like family. And that is a really big difference than you get with a lot of other cruise lines. Their crew is amazing, but with Princess, it was really special. And I don't know how that's going to change over the long run without her there. But I hope that we see a lot more from her. Now, a couple of other things. Let's talk about for a minute, when you're on a cruise and you want to book another cruise while you're on board, there are often a lot of perks with doing that. A couple of things about that. First of all, rumor has it that those future cruise planners in that office there are no longer employed by Princess, but they are contract workers. If any of you can verify that for sure, that would be awesome. And also, those of you that have cruised with Princess for a long time, let us know if you are noticing any differences when you go to book that way. Another important thing that I want you to pay attention to is when you are on board a Princess cruise. Just yesterday, a Let's Go family member who was kind and lets me help them book their cruises. They are on board Princess ship right now, and over in the future cruise office, there is a list 2 pages long, he said, of cruises that Princess, if you book on board, you get them for half off. So I think that's awesome. So if you are going to go on a Princess cruise soon, or if you're on board, go look at that list of cruises and see if you can book something that you would enjoy. And if you end up needing my help with it, you can talk to me after you get home, okay? And I can still help you with it. But I am really excited because that opens the door to more cruises for everyone. So let me know if you end up booking a cruise that way. Now, there are some changes going on at Norwegian. You might remember a few months ago when Norwegian said that they were really cutting back on their entertainment on board their ships. When we were on the Encore at the beginning of November, we got to see the Choir of Man show, which, by the way, it is a show that goes on in the West End of London. They've clearly got a couple of separate casts, but it is an excellent show. So it is really bringing a Broadway quality show on board the ships. So we got to see that, like I said, when we were on the Norwegian Encore, and it was amazing. We even went and saw it was performed 2 times during the cruise, and we went back the second time because it was so good the first time, and that's not like me. It has to be really good for me to want to go to it again. So take that as your reference point. So it wasn't too long after that they announced they were taking them away. And then when we were on the Norwegian Breakaway it was at the end of January on that Vloggers cruise, they had their show 6, and then they had some other smaller shows, but no other really big show. And so Norwegian, though, has announced that they are going to quit performing so many shows on all of the different ships. They said that they're doing this. They want to make adjustments to ensure that they operate their business effectively, cohesively, and profitably while delivering a full program of exceptional products. So they have a list here, and I'm going to share it with you because if there is a show that you really wanted to get to see, this is a heads up to try to pick up a cruise so that you can go on the cruise. Or if you're on one of those cruises, you'll know that this is your last chance to see that. So the show Swing King is no longer going to be on the Norwegian Gem after July 7th, so that's pretty close. The World Beat is no longer going to be on the Norwegian Spirit and the Norwegian Sun. Starting with the Spirit on August 16th will be the last for that, and October 11th for the Norwegian Sun. Velvet, which was its own show, will no longer be on the Norwegian Jewel after September 25th of this year. What the World Needs Now will no longer be on the Norwegian Star beginning October 11th of 2023. Footloose, which I would have really liked to have seen that show, will no longer be on the Norwegian Joy starting October 28th of 2023. We've got Showdown will no longer be on the Norwegian Dawn starting on November 4th of 2023. And finally, that show 6 that we got to see on the Norwegian Breakaway will no longer be on that ship, the Norwegian Breakaway and the Norwegian Bliss, starting on January 26th for the Breakaway of 2024 and February 24th of 2024 for the Norwegian Bliss. So as those shows go away, what I am wondering is if Norwegian is going to take a little bit more of the approach that that Princess takes. When you go on Princess, they have, I would say, really good production shows. I honestly think that their production shows have gotten better since they were before COVID. But anyway, they make a few, usually 2 or 3 production shows, and they have them on all of the ships. So you can go on the Majestic Princess and go on the, Grand Princess, and often you will see the same shows. They will have, of course, your different entertainers and crooners, and some of the other nights will be filled in with different entertainers, different comedians, different singers, different magicians, whatever. But those really big production shows will be the same. So I am wondering if that is what Norwegian is going to move to, because it would seem that once you've got so many different shows going on so many different ships, I can see that would be probably more expensive and just harder to manage, take a little bit more coordination. So it's going to be fun to see what the entertainment is like on Norwegian once they move away from all of these shows. So those of you that have a Norwegian cruise booked, you'll have to let us know. As of right now, Gordon and I don't have a Norwegian cruise booked, so let us know if you're going. Alrighty, several people ask me, really, what's the main difference between Holland America and Princess? And we have a video that I did last year when I got to go on Holland America's Koningsdam. And this year, as we went, the things that really stood out to me the most are truly that it is quieter on board Holland America. To me, that does not always translate into more boring. It is just quieter and a little bit more traditional feeling to the sailing experience there. The main dining rooms are very similar. The food is very similar. I would say that the food that we just had on Holland America was pretty much on par, maybe a little bit better in the buffet, but we're going to be on the Island Princess in a couple of weeks, so I'll let you know. That'll be close enough that we will really remember and be able to tell you the differences between the food. If you are someone that loves movies under the stars, I did miss that. I have watched movies under the stars on warm weather cruises, on cold weather cruises, and I am not even that big of a movie buff, but it is just really fun. We really enjoy that. And then the International Cafe is truly irreplaceable on Holland America. You got to pay a little bit more attention to what time it is, especially if you, if you're not eating like right at lunchtime, right at dinner time. If you eat a little bit different time, or you've been in port and you come back and you're a little hungry, sometimes nothing's open. So I did miss that. But you know what? Their room service is actually really good, and it came in a timely manner, and you can order that anytime. So if you get back and from being in port and the buffet's not open, the main dining room's not open, the other places, you can just go ahead and order some room service if you're hungry to tide you over, or to be your dinner if you get back late, whatever you need to do. So I think that's a really important distinction, that they do have really good room service. I honestly think that moving forward, if Princess starts putting their ships in dry dock and making changes, then people don't quite want to go on Princess anymore. And I already have people telling me they're done with Princess. Holland America is a really, really good option. I would say that for these large ships, if you have enjoyed Princess, I would try Holland America and Celebrity. That's what I would recommend. But I hope this helps, and I'll have Gordon link that video for you so that you can all see it. that would like to. Now, another really important thing that I really appreciate the update. Our Let's Go family member has been on an Alaska cruise tour, and they were on the bus ride, which took them up to the Copper River Wilderness Lodge, and she said it was like an 8-hour bus ride. A heads up to everyone, it is a very bumpy bus ride. She said that by the time they arrived there, she felt she equated it with being on a really rough sea day on board a ship with really rough seas. Didn't even have to be a whole sea day, but that it was a really bumpy ride. So if you're someone that has motion sickness or that kind of thing bothers you, be advised that that is something that exists. And I really appreciate those updates because there is no way to know that unless you experience it firsthand. So be aware that sometimes those bus rides on these land tours are really bumpy. Definitely the one up to the Copper River Wilderness Lodge. Now, finally, let's talk about Monterey Bay in California, because you'll recall it's been a few months ago now. The people there in Monterey, maybe it was their city council. Anyway, the bottom line is that they voted not to have cruise ships come into Monterey anymore. And so the cruise lines pretty much all said that they weren't going to go. At that time, the cruises that were scheduled to go there ended up going to Santa Barbara instead. And so that kind of changed the whole dynamic there. Well, then we see Princess announcing a bunch of their cruises that are going to go on the California coast, and there on the itinerary is Monterey, California. And so when I was on that call, it's just like a little webinar call that they have with travel agents, and they were talking about this before I could even ask. Someone else said, "Are you sure you're really going to Monterey?" "Oh, yes, we're going to Monterey." And they've left it on the itinerary with these announcements. Well, we've got a Let's Go family member, a couple of you actually, I think definitely more than one or two, who booked those cruises, and they are now taking Monterey off the itinerary, and they are taking you to Santa Barbara instead. The really disappointing thing is we have a Let's Go family member, as I was reading through our Facebook group. So if you do Facebook, you should come and join our group. It's Let's Go Travel Tips. But anyway, he was saying that that's why they booked the cruises, because they wanted to go to Monterey and go on an excursion there and do everything to do with Monterey. And so be aware that they're taking Monterey off. So if they take it off one cruise, they're probably going to take it off all the cruises. So if you have one of those California coast cruises booked and you think you're going to go to Monterey and that's why you booked it and you could still cancel, you might want to. If you still want to go anyway, of course, go. But if that is the reason that you wanted to go, be advised that I don't think you're going to go to Monterey. It will be really interesting to see how that plays out. But if they take it off one, I think they'll take it off more, because the people in Monterey there don't want cruise ships coming, and I respect that. And I think that the cruise lines probably should too. But anyway, if any of you have questions about anything, let me know. If you have not subscribed yet, would you please subscribe to our video, because we really do need you with us. And I think that this is a wonderful place to be. We've got the best cruising community out there. If you appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up. And like I said, come and join us at our live tonight. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.